I recently came across a story about three-wheel stair climbing dollies like this one. They don't really climb the stairs, they just make it easier. So I was thinking the best one of these dollies could do is to make that jaggedy stair step look like a smooth ramp. So using some of my Legos, I rigged up a model of one of these dollies, and here I have a step. This three-wheeled cluster would mount onto the dolly by some axle, and what really matters is what path does the axle take as it goes over the steps. So to trace that, I'm just going to put a pen in here. So rolling up to it here, then up, pivoting up, rolling up like this and like this until we get to the next step, and then we go up again. So that makes it a bit of a slope, although a bumpy one. So let's try that again, this time with a smaller step. And now with an even smaller step, which is pretending that the wheels are relatively bigger. So this is the path that the axle traces with a relatively larger step, which is to say this three-wheel assembly is relatively small compared to the step. And then with a smaller step, and an even smaller step. And this one has got some pretty steep parts to it. It's kind of bumpy. This one is pretty good in that it's actually fairly smooth. And then when we went to the smaller step, it actually got worse. So this seems to be the sweet spot. So it's best when the dolly comes up to the step, when it pivots like that, that the wheel just hits the edge like that to get over that step. And typically a stair step would be about 19 centimeters tall. This is 10 centimeters tall. So scaling up this assembly, my wheels are 82 millimeters in diameter, and from the axle to the wheel is 56 millimeters. So multiplying that by 19 over 10 to compensate for the scale of this model, that comes to a wheel size of 156 millimeters with arms of 106 millimeters, or 6 1/8 inch wheels on 4 1/8 inch arms. And interestingly enough, looking up one of these dollies, the wheels on that one is advertised as 6 1/4 inches. So that's very close to what I have for my model. Now, other variables you could also play around with is to put small wheels on the end of this, maybe for cost savings, but I think in general, making these wheels as big as possible is best for general terrain overall. Anyways, I always enjoy exploring little bits of physics like that, and I hope you enjoy watching it too.